One day, a young man, burdened by constant stress and overwhelming responsibilities, approached a wise master. "Master," he said, "I feel suffocated by the pressures of life. There are so many tasks, so many expectations. I feel like I'm drowning in them all. Please, help me find some peace." The master listened carefully and asked, "Tell me, what exactly is bothering you the most?" The young man sighed. "It's everything, master. My job, my family, my dreams, and even the little things in life. It all piles up, and I feel like I don't have enough time or space to breathe." The master nodded and stood up. "Come with me," he said, leading the man to the courtyard, where there was a large, empty jar and a pile of sand. The master handed the man a small spoon and said, "Now, I want you to fill this jar with the sand, spoonful by spoonful." The man was puzzled, but obeyed. He started to scoop small amounts of sand and carefully poured it into the jar. After a while, the jar was about halfway full. He looked at the master, hoping for some explanation, but the master simply gestured for him to continue. After what seemed like an eternity, the jar was full of sand. Exhausted, the young man looked at the master and asked, "What does this mean, master?" The master smiled and handed him a large stone. "Now, place this stone inside the jar," he instructed. "But master," the man protested, "there's no room for the stone anymore. The jar is already filled with sand." The master chuckled. "Ah, yes, but what if you had placed the stone in first?" The man looked at the jar, understanding slowly dawning on him. "If I had put the stone first, there would have been space for both the stone and the sand." The master nodded wisely. "Exactly. The jar is your life, and the sand represents the small, insignificant tasks that consume your time. The stone, however, represents the most important things: your health, family, dreams, and personal well-being. If you fill your jar with sand first, there will be no room for the stone. But if you focus on the important things first, the small things will find their place around them." The young man stared at the jar, realizing how much time and energy he had been wasting on things that didn't matter. "But master," the man asked, "how do I change this? How do I stop letting the little things take over?" The master smiled again and picked up a small stick. He stirred the sand in the jar gently, and some of it spilled over the sides. "The mind is like this jar. If you allow it to be filled with distractions, you'll always feel overwhelmed. But if you focus on what truly matters and let go of the unimportant, you'll find that the jar can hold everything it needs to. And just as I stirred the sand to make room, you must learn to let go of some things to make space for what really matters." The young man left, his heart lighter, with a clear understanding of how to regain control over his life.